Okay, so guys, today we will be discussing. I hope everyone has done the lab setup, and so we discussed about various concepts. Then we configured management IP. So I wanted to just go through once for 2 minutes, like what we did previous week. Then we configured. After that, we configured all resource provisioning, like what we need. So we discussed about this. So I hope everyone has done till this step, and if anyone does not have done, so I would request them to do it. And then we discussed about F5 terminologies, virtual servers, pool members, and node concept. Anyways, once we configure it, guys, I will talk about this more concept on this. Like we have discussed what is virtual server. So as a easy language, virtual server is just a URL of your website. So when trying client wants to connect to, let's say F5, your application is, let's say crnets.com. It's hosted on F5, and F5s are further connected to your servers where it needs to do load balancing. So that URL crnets.com is called your virtual IP. Why it is called virtual IP? Virtual IP is a mixture of your IP address plus port number. Now, what I have done is servers, pools. These are servers. What are those? So that are called your pool members. So pool members are nothing, guys. Pool member is called a collection of node plus service running on that port. So let's say if my application, I want to load balance HTTP based application. So your traffic will come from client, then it will hit to F5. F5 will see what load balancing algo it will do. We will discuss about that. Then it will send request either to this server, or this server. So that is called pool member. So pool member, node, and pool. These are all irrelated. So node is just an IP address of your backend server or application. So don't get confused what is backend server, what is application server. Both are same. So that's why I called it as a server. So see, logically it is called VIP, virtual IP, right? URL is logical. But where exactly this application is hosted? It's hosted on server 1, server 2, and server 3. So that is where we come across your pool member nodes and pool. So pool is a collection of all this server. So on that day, we discussed like first client traffic will hit pool. We create nodes. Nodes will be called to your pool member. Pool member is a collection of your pool. And finally, pool is called on your web. So that is how the traffic flows. First, you create node. Node is called on your pool member. Pool member is a part of pool, and VIP is a part of your pool. Because finally, your client traffic will hit where? It will hit your VIP. So that is what we discussed previous classes. And we discussed why we introduced F5 and all. Now, very important concept which deals with your networking part on F5 and packet flow. So let's me jump directly into that concept. So today's agenda is, guys, network setup in F5. So on that day, guys, what we did, we have 4 interfaces which we are using on F5. What are those? First interface is management interface. So I will draw a picture so that you can understand. We have F5, let's say in our data center. We have one management interface. We have one HA, that is for high availability. We have one external interface and one internal interface. And we need to do networking setup interfaces and all on our F5. So on that day, what we did was we configured VMware, VMnet 0, VMware Net 1, VMnet 2, and VMnet 8. So what I did was, guys, on that day when I go to my VMware workstation, what we did, we go to edit virtual network editor. So in this case, let me show you here. Let me just, so we created 4 interfaces, right? One is management, that is used to access your load balancer IP address. One network interface we were using for this one is for internal interface. So today now you will understand why we create internal interface, why create external interface. And one more is called HA. So if I click here, HA right now, it's not needed. So we are not going. So this is HA, but we will use it later on. And one interface more is there, which is called external. So when I click here, change settings, it will show you. So see, now the same settings, guys, this is called our external. This is bridge to my Wi-Fi. Now, what we need to do, the same interfaces, guys, we need to call in our settings needs to be done on our F5, right? We need to link our F5 with these interfaces. So that is all about this network, VMware network, the 4 interfaces. Now, guys, why we are creating 4 interfaces? Now I will show you through whiteboard. So in our topology, let's say we have client, we have, let's say, router, then let's say we have switch, let's say we have F5. This is the deployment I'm talking about in a production environment. Let's say again there is a switch here and your servers are connected to switch. So this is the deployment generally you will see in your data center design, how F5 is deployed. So guys, F5 deployment we will talk about. There are 2 modes. One mode is one arm mode deployment. This is very important, guys. This is an interview question. How many deployment modes are there in F5? So you will say one arm and two arm. So try to understand properly. Don't get confused. I will tell in the easy way so that you will not get confused. So let's take the architecture diagram here. So initially, we have, let's say, this ISP router. Okay. And let's say this is our layer 3 switch here and layer 3 switch here. I'm just talking about this deployment mode. Here, guys, you can see how many interfaces are connected to F5 here. Anyone? I'm talking about this F5 device. How many interfaces we are using? We are using one interface here and one interface here. So that is called 2-arm mode, where 2 interfaces of F5 will be used. One network will be called external network. This network will be called internal network. Simple way. You guys have been doing this, but if someone is not an issue, this is how it is deployed. So there are 2 methods. We will talk about both the methods of deployment. So that is called 2-arm mode, right? Because this is a separate external network. This is a separate after F5. I'm talking about after F5. You can ignore this one. One interface, this is called internal, this is called external. So that is called 2-arm. 2-arm means 2 interfaces of F5. 1-arm means only one interface will be used. I will tell you why 1-arm mode and 2-arm mode. So 2-arm deployment generally we will do in our lab setup also, and I will tell you what is 1-arm in some time. But first understand this one. What is 2-arm and 1-arm? So don't get confused. You will see different definitions in net, but 2-arm mode is called 2 interfaces of F5. One is used here and one is used here. That is called 2-arm mode. Simple deployment. Even 1-arm is also simple, but we will discuss. But right now 2-arm is okay. So I will draw a diagram again. You have a client coming from internet, let's say this is ISP router, then you have layer 3 switch, then you have F5, then again you have layer 3 switch, because your servers will never directly connect to F5, right? There must be switch or something. So logically, that diagram which we told, right? We talked about logical diagram. F5 is connected to internal network, external network, management network, and HA. But physical diagram, guys, whenever you deploy F5, you need to understand physical deployment also. So we are talking about that deployment method. So why it is called 2-arm mode, guys? Because it is segregated here. This is called, you can also say this is a front end network. To make it easy, this network is called front end network, where your client is sitting. This network is called back end network, where your servers are hosted. So that is about simple diagram approach for 2-arm. Now, guys, here what we need three things in F5. First thing is interfaces. We will need to create interfaces, right? How many interfaces we will create? One this one, one this one. So we need two interfaces of F5. Second thing, guys, this interface should be tagged to VLANs, right? We need to segregate traffic, right? 2-arm means two different network. So there are two meanings of 2-arm mode. First one is two interfaces of F5 will be used. Second thing is two networks. Now you will understand, guys, right? Why I took separate network. I will show you. When I go into edit, virtual network editor, you will see two networks. See, can you see this? One is internal network. My internal network I will be taking as 10.2.2.0/24. Another network is external, which I will be taking 192.168.1.0, because this is my Wi-Fi network, guys. Maybe in your network, you can check running on command prompt, doing ipconfig and check what is the Wi-Fi network. So that is same here I will be taking. So I will again go into that picture. I will just come across that diagram. So that is what that simple meaning is 2-arm mode means two interfaces of F5 plus two mode. So I will note an issue. I like drawing diagrams again and again so that you understand more. ISP router, layer 3 switch, F5, layer 3 switch, and servers. Now we were talking about 2-arm means two network. This is, I will segregate on which network it is. This network is 192.168.1.0/24. This network is 10.2.0/24. This is called internal network. Now, what we will do is we will have two interfaces created on F5. First thing is that. Second thing is, guys, we will create VLANs. How many VLANs we need? Two VLANs. That is called layer 2 VLANs. One is external VLAN, one is internal VLAN. And the last point what we will create is self IPs, guys. Self IP is nothing but the layer 3 IP address assigned to VLAN. That is called self IP. Or you can say switch virtual interface. In Cisco world, it is called switch virtual interface, right? We have layer 2 VLANs, but we need two segments, right? IP address. So layer 3 VLANs also we will create. It's not called layer 3 VLANs, but it is called F5 in IP address assigned to our interface, that is called self IP. Self IP is nothing, it is called switch virtual interface. So guys, let's say this server, right? Let's say this server we have created. Now I will be creating VLAN. I will take this VLAN on 20 and I will take external VLAN on 10. All my servers gateway, let's say this server I will take 10.2.2.30. This server I will take 10.2.2.31. This server I will take 10.2.2.32. So these are the three servers which I will be deploying it with IP address this. Okay, guys. But in this case, guys, what would be your gateway? Your gateway will be your switch here, right? Your gateway is not F5, but in our deployment, we will create layer 2 switch here. Instead of layer 3, we will create layer 2 switches concept. I will show you that. But I'm just talking about three concepts here. What is interface, what is VLAN, and what is self IP. So I will create two self IPs, one for this network, one for this network. And these networks are basically called transit network also. Always please remember self IPs are only created for directly connected network. That is very important. Self IPs are directly connected segment IP of the interface. Now guys, some people will ask like how F5 will, let's say this network is in, my F5 is not directly connected to servers, right? There is a layer 3 switch coming into picture. Now question will, how F5 will reach to the server? Anyone? Now, if F5 wants to reach to this server, let's say there's this self IP I've created in different network. Maybe it is on separate network. Now the question is how F5 is not directly connected to the server, right? In that case, what we need, guys? In that case, we need routing. What I will say that to reach this server, my next gateway is this layer 3 interface. So it's simple routing and switching term, where you are just deploying on F5. Your switch is coming into picture. You have two networks. One is internal, one is external. This is our internal network. This is our external network. Now, guys, when we go here, another diagram. This is about 2 arm mode where two interfaces of F5 will be used. Now, again, I will take one more diagram which would be more easy to understand. We have internet. We have firewall. Okay. This one is outside network of the firewall. And we have, let's say, inside network. Inside network, this all are inside. Firewall has two interfaces. Then we have, let's say, core switch here. Switch, I'm talking about layer 3 switch. Some servers will be directly connected like this way. They don't need load balancer. So these are called servers core switch. Now, I want to deploy F5, guys. In most of the environment when you don't have F5, so your deployment lies like this. You have firewall, where a firewall has outside network. You have inside network where your core switch is connected and your servers are connected here. Now, guys, in a normal scenario where I don't have F5, what would be the gateway for these servers? Servers gateway might be your this. If it's a layer 3 core switch, it will be this. If it's a layer 2, then your server gateway will be firewall. Okay, now I need to introduce F5 in picture. Simple thing. So what I will do is I have a DMZ network where mostly your applications will be hosted. I will take a separate network of DMZ. Now I will have one layer 2 switch, which is called your DMZ switch. Now I will have firewall connected to this layer 2 switch, and I will have F5 connected to this layer 2 switch. Are you getting me? Simple approach. After that, I will have one more layer 2 switch. And to this layer 2 switch, what will be connected, guys? We talked about two interfaces. This one is external world. Now this one is which world? Internal world. And to this layer 2 switch, which will be connected, guys? Your web servers, RGB servers, red, green, blue. So this will be connected on this server. Now, guys, next question. Let's say IP schema. I'm just taking one schema. This outside world is on network, let's say 10.10.2.0/24. Okay, I'm taking this outside world on 10.10.2.0 network. Now, my external world is on this network. My internal world will be on which network? This will be 10.10.3.0/24. I'm taking internal network as 10.10.3.0 and external network as 10.10.2.0. Now, guys, this is layer 2, right? So we will create one VLAN here, and we will assign one IP to this VLAN. That is called self IP. So my network, let's say this interface IP here, my firewall IP is 10.10.2.4. I'm taking this. Okay. Now my internal net here, what would be my self IP? This will be, let's say 10.10.2. Let's 1 or 3, anything. Same network, guys, right? Because one interface IP from this network will be firewall, one would be your F5. So that is called self IP, guys. That is called external network. Now, guys, my layer 2 network. Now we will come into this internal network. In this case, guys, let's say my F5 IP interface I will be taking as 10.10.3.1. Okay, I will be taking here my network as 10.10.3.1, which is my layer 3 IP address. And IP address to my servers, I will assign 10.10.3.30, 3.31, 3.32. So I'll be assigning 3 networks here: 3.3, 3.2, 3.1, let's say, or 3.30, 31, 32, because 3.1 I have taken as this IP address, this interface. Now my question is, in this case, guys, this server, red, green, blue, what would be the gateway for this server? My internal F5 self IP or VLAN IP interface IP is 10.10.3.1. My server's IP red I have assigned as 10 from same network, 3.30. My green server application server I have assigned 10.10.3.31. My blue server I have assigned 10.10.3.32. I'm asking the gateway for my these servers. These are on internal network. What would be my gateway in this case? Anyone? Gateway will be 10.10.3.1, directly F5, right? Always gateway is your layer 3 IP address, because server is layer 2. So my gateway will be 3.1. Okay. So I hope you are getting one interface IP I've given as 10.10.2.1. One interface IP I've given as 10.10.3.1. That is internal. This world is called external interface of F5. This interface IP address is called internal. So that is a live deployment in production also. You will deploy the same way, guys. You will have one interface of F5 connected to your firewall. One interface will be connected to your layer 2 switch, which are directly connected to your server. This I am talking about when your server gateway is F5. Maybe server gateway might not be F5, might be layer 3 switch coming into picture. In that case, then your server gateway will be your switch. So that is called 2-arm mode. The simple LTM design, guys, of a 2-arm mode. So now our lab topology, what we will be deploying here. This is the production scenario. I will now talk about our IP address segment. So in our case, we have took external. Now I have taken external interface as which network. I will draw our same topology. You can create the same on my side also and your side. Internal network I will be taking as 10.2.2.0/24. Now I will draw a topology in this way. Taking client, taking firewall. Okay. This is a separate network. You can ignore this also for now. Core switch. Then maybe some servers are connected here. You can ignore this part. Now we will have one interface connected to F5. And now F5 will have. Okay, before that, guys, just give me 1 minute. Firewall. I will just. Okay, here I will take DMZ switch because firewall will never connect directly. So there will be switch here. Now after that there will be F5. This is layer 2 switch. Now after F5 we have again one layer 2 switch. After that we have servers. This is the live deployment which we will be taking in our lab. This is called red server. This is called green server. This is called blue server. Red server IP I will be taking as 10.2.2.30, 10.2.2.31, and 10.2.2.32. Now, guys, we will have two interfaces, right? External, and this one is internal. So my firewall interface here I will take as 192.168, let's say 1.1. And this interface self IP I will create 192.168, let's say 1.50. Any IP segment from this network. Now this interface, guys, internal, what would be the segment IP? So I will take 10.2.50. Now, guys, for this all red green server, what would be the gateway? For this gateway will be 10.2.2.50 network. So let's go. I'm just going into F5 now and we will deploy 2-arm mode. I will just open my. So you can draw this, you can take this snapshot of a topology. If someone wants to draw this, you can just take a snapshot. Simple topology. One network I have taken external. F5 is segregated into two network, external and internal. This is my 192.168 segment, and this segment is 10.2.2.0/24. Now the same thing I will be created on F5 now. I have created on VMware. Now I will create the same setup on my F5. Now I will go here. I will access my management plane 192.168.137.50. This is my management IP, guys. Login, I will enter username admin, password admin. I hope everyone has this setup. If not, You can watch the video and do this setup. Now I will go to every network setting, guys. Whether you want to create any VLANs, interfaces, or self IP. Self IP is nothing, a layer 3 IP address assigned to interface or a switch virtual interface. For every layer 2 network, we need to have layer 3 subnet, right? This is what is called self IP. So self IP, you can also say it will act as your default gateway for server. You can simple remember that way also. Self IP will be acting as a default gateway of your server. Now, we will create the same things. I will go to network part, interfaces. Interface will be populated. In your case, guys, you will see these three interfaces in your, and one is management. Management interface you will only see by CLI command, not GUI. Okay, guys. Now let's go further. Interfaces are already available. Now we will decide what is external, what is internal in this case. One interface is uninitialized because we are not using HA right now. So that is why. Now next step is, guys, we will create VLANs. So how many VLANs we need to create, guys? Anyone? We need two VLANs. One is external and one is internal. Now let's go downwards. I will go to network part, VLANs. Here, can you see this? Anyways, I have already created, but what I will do is I will delete this. I will create in front of you again. It's saying that it's already used in self IP, not an issue. I will delete from here first. I will create everything from scratch so that you guys also can create. No problems. I'm deleting all the settings. Because all are in linked. So when I am deleting pool member, it's saying that it's called in your virtual server. Now it will let me delete. Now I will go to network, self IP. Let me delete now this. Okay, guys, VLANs. Now I will try to delete. It should get delete now. Okay. So now, guys, we need two VLANs, right? One is external, one is internal. So I will go here on my F5, network tab, VLANs, and I will create. I will call this as EXT, and I will call my external VLAN, depends on your architecture approach. Whatever VLAN you can give this same ID. This is just tagging is just for identification. So I will now, which interface will take to my external, guys? This is an important question. Whether 1.1 or 1.2 or 1.3. That, guys, you need to check with MAC address. I will go to my VMware. I will click on this. My external network, I have taken this one. What is the MAC address for this, guys? 8231. What is 8231? 1.1. So my external interface will be 1.1. So I did nothing. I went to my external network here. I'll just show you. I just right click settings. I wanted to check the MAC address. So I'm using this network as my external network. I went to advanced and check the MAC address. So MAC address is 8231. So I went to F5 and see, MAC address is matching. So I'm taking 1.1 as my external network. So how the topology is, this is how the tagging and all the things is done. You have self IP. Self IPs are generally tagged to your VLAN and physical interfaces. So this is how the flow is. Physical interfaces, these are your physical interfaces, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. You need to assign, when you create a VLAN, you need to call your VLAN on which interface this VLAN is connected. Then you will create layer 3 IPs. So just remember this schema. Your physical interfaces will be called on your VLAN, and on your self IP, you will call your VLAN. You will get to know. Now I need to choose which one will be my internal interface, whether 1.2 or 1.3. Now I will go here again. Which one was my internal network? Internal network I have chosen Vimnet 2. What is the MAC address of my Vimnet 2? My MAC address of Vimnet 2 is 8245. So see, 8245 is 1.3. So 1.1 would be my external interface. 1.3 is my internal. This is very important, guys. You need to take care which MAC address you have assigned. External interface is generally connected to your Vimnet 0 network in VMware. Internal network is Vimnet 2. So I check the MAC address on my VMware, and here also I check the MAC address. So these are matching, so I choose my interface accordingly. Now what I need to do, I will go to my network, VLANs, create. I will create external. Now external tagging, I will just do it one. Now here, which one was my external interface? My external interface is 1.1. And whether do you need tagged or untagged? So guys, what does this mean? Very important. Let's say guys, I have a F5. I have this external world. I have a switch. Now I have servers. This server right now it's on VLAN 10. This server, let's say it's on VLAN 20. This server, let's say it's on VLAN 30. Now guys, in this case, I will have 3 VLANs. Now this 3 VLANs needs to be, let's say this is my internal network, which is 1.3 interface. Now, do I need to make this interface access port or a trunk port? Because I need to pause all these 3 VLANs, 10, 20, 30. Will it be my access port or a trunk port? Because my F5 is connected to switch on this interface. Now I need to pass these 3 VLAN ID, right? Because my servers are on different networks, let's say. In my case, it will be same, but I'm just telling you this. What is untagged and tagged means. So this will be your trunk port. So in that case, in F5, it is called tagged port. If you want to call multiple VLANs on a interface, multiple VLANs on single interface, that is called trunk port or a tagged port. And what is untagged? Untagged is called access port. If your servers are on same network, let's say my server is on 10.2.2.0, all my servers are on this network. So in that case, I only need one VLAN, right? 20, let's say. And that is only needs to be passed. Why I need to make trunk port? So in my lab environment, only one VLAN is present, right? On F5, one VLAN is present here, external network, one VLAN is internal. So all my servers are on same network, right? 10.2.2.0. And this one also is on one network, 192.168.1.0. And all parts are of same VLAN. I need to allow only one VLAN on one interface. If I want to allow one VLAN on one interface, in that case, I need to use untagged. So I will make external 1.1 untagged. Finished. That's it. Now I need to create internal VLAN. Internal VLAN, let's say it's on 20. What is my internal interface? 1.3 untagged, because only one VLAN is there in my lab where my servers are part of only one VLAN. I need to pass one VLAN on one interface, which means access port. Multi VLANs on multiple. So there are two scenarios. Tagged means one interface is available, but multiple VLANs needs to be passed. That is called trunk port also. So in that case, you need to make tagged. Untagged means one interface, one VLAN. So that is access port. Simple meaning is access port. Now, in my case, I will be using one VLAN, one interfaces. I only have one VLAN, so I need to pass it as an untagged. So I will create 1.3 is my internal interface. So I selected untagged from here. I will finish. So the same way, guys, you can also create. So what I did, I only created two VLANs and I bind to the physical interface. From the picture, I created two VLANs, and these VLANs, I bind physical interfaces. Now what I need to do? I need to bind it to layer 3. That is called IP address assigned to this VLAN segment. We need to create two IPs, right? One is 192.168.1.0 network, and one is 10.2.2.0 network. That is called self IP. And we will bind VLAN to that self IP. So physical interfaces will always be bind to VLAN, and VLAN will always bind to self IP. So this is the F5 mechanism. So self IP is nothing, an IP address on the F5 that you associate with VLAN. That is called self IP. It is also called in Cisco world SVI, where we assign IP address to VLAN. So the same thing I will be doing it. I will go here, self IPs, create. Now I will say external self IP. IP address I will take 192.168.1.50. From that segment, right? External network is 192.168.1.0 network. Now net mask /24. Which see, now you will come here. Can you see? When I'm creating layer 3 IP address, it's asking me to which VLAN you want to bind. So this network always needs to bind with my external IP. And this you can select allow default, finish. Now one more segment, one more interface, right? Internal. What is the IP? 10.2.2.50. Net mask. Now here, can you see? This internal VLAN or an IP address which you are creating to associate with VLAN. Which VLAN you need to associate with this internal network? Internal VLAN. That's why what we did, right? We first created interface. Interfaces are already created. Then we bind with VLAN. Now we need to bind this VLAN with layer 3 IP. So that is how it goes. Finished. That's it, guys. This is all about the network segment of F5. Recap, I created two VLANs because we have two ARM mode. I created two interfaces and I created two self IP. Sorry. So this is what we did. Now next step, guys, we need to create pool member, pool and virtual server. So let's go directly to that. See, when I create pool member, nodes will automatically create it. I will show you. I will go to pool. I will create one pool. Let's say pool of IT. This one you can ignore right now. Health monitor. When we will talk about health monitor, I will tell you. I am just creating 3 servers. So in my setup, guys, when F5 is connected, F5 is connected to 3 servers, right? Server 1, server 2, server 3. So this is my IP address. 10.2.2.30, 10.2.2.31, 10.2.2.32. And this all 3 servers are part of your pool. So what I am creating is, and the service which I will be creating is port number 80. Because I want to do load balancing HTTP. So here I need to assign the IP address. My first server is 10.2.2.30. Port number here. So what I'm creating is, guys, I'm creating a pool member and assigning to pool. So first server is red server. I'm assigning port number 80. Next server 31. Add 32. Add. So what I'm creating? 3 servers and I'm calling on one pool. That's what I'm creating. Finish. And if I go to node, guys, you will see all my nodes will come here. You can delete this as of now. You don't need to create nodes separately. Whenever you create pool, nodes will automatically create it. So node is nothing but a physical IP address of your server. So I will just show you that figure also. So node is just an IP address of your server, physical server. Pool member is your IP plus port number on which server is present. So IP of your node and pool is collection of your pool member. So that is what we did. We have 3 nodes. Then this is pool member, 1 pool member, 2 pool member, 3 pool member. And then we have called on pool. Now, guys, why it is coming up? How to give IP address. Now, guys, I will tell you. I hope you guys have red, green, and blue servers. Now let's configure IP address for that. We have red server, green, and blue. And IP address what I have chosen is red server, let's say 10.2.2.30 I need to assign. Blue server I will assign 10.2.31. Green server I will assign 10.2.2.32. So let's go. I will go here, red server settings first. I will show you. You need to assign first into Vimnet2 because this server is a part of internal network and that is called VMware Network 2. All red, green, blue, first you need to assign to Vimnet 2. Vimnet 2. Vimnet 2. Okay, guys. Once you do this, how to give an IP address? I will turn on one server, green server. Now you see this red icon. Just click on this red icon. Go inside this server. Click on this red icon. It might take little slow, but you need to assign your IP address. Just give me 1 minute. Click on this red icon. Username is root, password is root. Now you need to go to network settings, Ethernet. Here you need to assign, guys. My green server is 10.2.2.31. Netmask is 255.255.255.0, and gateway is my F5 self IP. Can you see this? The same self IP which I've configured on internal network, here you need to give it. And then you need to click activate static. And then you need to go to this terminal and reboot so that it takes an IP address. Now you need to go to blue server, same case. You need to go to this red icon. Username is root, password is also root. Go to network tab, Ethernet, IP address, netmask, and gateway. Are you getting me? Because this is a part of your internal network. Internal network is 10.10.20/24. Self IP I've created for this network is 10.2.50. So all my servers will point out to this gateway IP address. And my server's IP, this is my server IP, this is my net mask, and this is my gateway. So the same thing you need to do. After giving IP, click on activate static. Then you need to go to terminal and reboot. Now you need to go to red server, same thing. Go to here, click username and password root. Click OK. Then you click on this network Ethernet. It will take your IP addresses. So that is why, guys, it's coming here, right? The same IP which I've given here, I have configured here. This is my pool member. So pool member is nothing. It's a collection of IP plus service port. Port number is 18 because this is red, green, blue servers are my HTTP based application. If you have SSH application.
Vidit sir, there is a one person he joined with that number. Who is that guy?
I'm not sure. Ria might be tracking that. Anyways, Hemu sir, I will be just unmuting everyone after 2 minutes. We will discuss.
Please, yeah.
So these are the 3 IP address with port number 10.2.2.30, 31, and 32. And the port numbers are 80, 80, 80. Now, if I go here, nodes are already created. And why it is coming green? Because I have assigned health monitor, guys. Health monitor topic is a separate topic, but what it do is it will keep tracking. So what is health monitor? I have 3 servers, server 1, server 2, server 3. So it will keep pinging out telnet. TCP uses telnet. So it will do telnet on port number 80. If it is up, then it will mark it up. So it is like a BP. Let's say if you go to doctor, they will test your BP, right? If it's okay, it will mark it up healthy. So health monitor is something which makes F5 sure that if this server is down, then F5 should not send traffic to this server. it will send traffic to these servers only. But we will discuss health monitor in detail. Now, I will go to virtual server. I will just delete this. Now I will create one virtual server, simple virtual server, which is called URL. Now I will go to create. I will say web of IT. Destination IP, guys. Now here, what would be my destination IP? This is my external network. All my virtual network will be from this network. 192.168, 1 dot, let's say anything. I'm taking 1.60 because this is my external. I will give 192. And what is the port? If it's an HTTP based application, because I'm accessing through browser, then I will select port 80, nothing else. I will create this and I will just select the pool layer. I will go downwards of this word. So for virtual server, I click on local traffic, virtual servers. Then I will select this pool. Finished. See guys, this is up because my pool members are up. So what I did, I created virtual server and I binded the same pool which I created. So now you will be getting that concept. Node gets assigned to your pool member. Pool member gets assigned to your pool. And pool is finally get assigned to your virtual IP. So that is how the flow goes. Now, if I want to access this application, I will show you 192.168.1.60. See guys, I'm getting red when I refresh, blue, I will refresh, green. So my load balancing is happening properly. When I refresh, first time it's coming red, second time it's coming green, I will refresh. So it means my lab setup is successful. My load balancing is happening. Why? Why it is going red, green, blue? I will show you. When I go here pool, when I go here members, can you see this load balancing method? Round robin. We will discuss this in separate topic because each topic is separate. Like health monitor is a separate topic. All deals with this. That's why virtual IP, pool members, and pool are important terms to understand because all are interrelated. So we have three servers. First time it's giving on 10.2.230. Second time it's going to 10.2.2.31. Third time it's going to 10.2.2.32. So I did virtual server, I'm accessing on HTTP. So it means it's working fine.